It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a bottle of Hofmeister Weisse coming in at 5.1% ABV in a 330 milliliter bottle. Here is a look at the bottle cap. They've reverted back to the original beer here. Gone is the comical bear with the pork pie hat. They've gone back to the original branding of what the brand was originally like when it was first brought over to the UK. Right, that said, let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get, and we'll talk further about this beer. This is good levels of smoke on the bottle opening. This is a relaunch of a famous 1980s stroke 1990s brand. It's important to get this little bit of yeast into the glass, by the way. Yeah, they've relaunched this brand into the UK. Two independent friends, independent brewery, contract brewed in Germany. This beer sent over to the UK. But there's been a lot of research. There's been a lot of a lot of love put back into the Hofmeister brand, which was stripped back by the larger breweries that owned the brand over the years. As I mentioned, the pork pie hat, the fact that the beer ended up at 3.4% ABV. I mean, what German drinks beer at 3.4% ABV? I mean, light lager. Normally German lagers are like 5.2% ABV. A bottle will be 6.5% ABV. German people do not drink lagers at 3.4% ABV. So the brand wasn't true to itself over in the UK. It wasn't really a great representation of really good German beer. But the two friends have gone over to Germany. They found a contract brewer. They've worked really hard on the brand and they've relaunched. They've relaunched the brand over to the UK, and I've never had a Hofmeister Weissbier. I imagine they brewed it. If it was in fact an actual German brewery, I don't actually know for sure where the brand originated from. Perhaps I should have done my research. But anyway, comment below. You guys are great with your information and your beer knowledge, so comment below. Did Hofmeister originally have a Weiss? I imagine they did. But probably for the German market. It's great to see that they've got a Weiss over here in the UK now at 5.1% ABV. We got a 3-finger white head. Wonderful. Look at that. Look at that. Wonderful, wonderful. Hazy wheat beer in the glass. Beautiful glass as well, by the way. Really pleased with this. Let's get the aroma. I'm expecting lots of banana and clove spices. Yeah, that smells really good. Really good. Oh, let's dive in. Banana, clove, spices. It's got me salivating. Cheers, everyone. Oh, wow! Stone the crows. Stone the crows. That is... Now, I'm sure the guys over at Hofmeister won't mind me mentioning this, but one of my favourite Weissbiers of all time is Paulaner Weissbier. I spent lots of time a few years ago holidaying in Spain. You know, your classic swimming pool holidays. And I get sick of the Samagel. In fact, in the end, I wouldn't be drinking the Samagel. I would find bars that specifically sold Paulaner Weissbier. And I just sat there in the sun drinking Weissbier all day. One of my favourite Weissbiers of all time. This is terrific Weissbier. Full of ripe banana, spices, clove. Oh, it's got a wheaty, oaty, creamy mouthfeel to it that just enhances that. It ties in with that kind of banana and clove and spicy flavour. It just works. It just works. It's very drinkable. It's very refreshing. You get that wheat to begin with, that wheat flavour, followed by a slight bitterness on the back end. So the beer is nicely balanced between that slight wheat flavour and that slight bitter hop on the back end. It's beautifully balanced. Oh my goodness me. This is incredible Weissbier. I'm so pleased on a few fronts here. On a few fronts. I love Weissbier. I hope that this really competes. I hope that, I mean, this comes in and competes with some of the well-known Weissbier breweries that sell Weiss in the UK. I mean, I don't think Weissbier is a big seller in the UK. Number one is probably Erdinger. They'll sell quite a bit of Weissbier, followed by Paulaner, followed by maybe ahead of all of those might even be Franziskaner. But I think there's a gap in the market. I think there's a gap in the market for a really good Weissbier. And if we could educate the mainstream public to enjoy Weissbier, and of course they have kind of maybe connections with the Hofmeister brand from back in the 80s and 90s from memory, maybe they may be able to connect and enjoy Weissbier, and Weissbier could be the next big thing. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that in the UK, if Weissbier become the next big thing? It could, you know, it could. Everybody kind of is involved in these New England IPAs, you know, hazy, murky looking beers with a good head, loads of aroma, loads of flavour. We've been here before with Weissbier. Yeah, hundreds of years before. So move out of the way, New England IPA, and I'm going to bring you, or the world is going to bring you, Weissbier instead. Oh, so good. So good. Hofmeister Weisse bursts with ripe banana and vanilla aromas, all backed by a bready brioche note. Enjoy it chilled and discover notes of lemon drizzle cake that are offset by a refreshing hint of bitterness, all carried on a rich body that feels like it turns to cream on your tongue. Honestly, that is incredible Weissbier. Incredible Weissbier. And just think, it's just hops, malt, yeast and water. It conforms to the Weissbier of 1516. Look, it says it on the bottom of the label there. The Weissbier is a German law that says if you're going to call it beer, it has to only be brewed with hops, yeast, water and malt. That is one of the best Weissbiers I have ever had on the channel. And one more thing before I go. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to Brew London. I think it's 2 or 3 weeks' time. I'm going to Brew London, and I've checked out the brewery list, and I can see that Hofmeister are on the list. I'm gonna trade day. I'm gonna be going to visit the guys at Hofmeister. Hopefully I can catch up with them, have a chat with them, maybe catch an interview for YouTube. But I'm gonna be drinking some of that beautiful Weissbier down at Brew London. I'm gonna rate it. This is absolutely incredible Weissbier. I'm gonna give it a top score of a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. So 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer, Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!